that all these millions of years of evolution have it organized during these years. It has been organized a lot of ways, complex ways, subtle ways, in order to maximize sustainability in the nature. But also, as a human beings, we have to think about our sustainability not only in the context of natural ecology, but also as a human beings. And for example, for me, I think my idea is that sustainability in human being, it depends a bit of the capacity we will have to make conscient the things that for the moment are not conscient. I don't say that we have to be conscient all the time, no? But I think that we are going, our development is in the way that we are going to be more and more conscient of a lot of things. And this is the way that sustainability will be more, no, for human being. It's an idea.
Well, I have two questions here. Next, well, I think for me, ecology was useful, a complex ecology, because language is a so complex phenomenon. That was my main reason to think about an ecology, because it's a kind of a special phenomenon, right? It's at the same time is individual, no? It's cerebral, it's cognitive, it's social, it's cultural, it's natural too, because it is a biological support, genetic, right? So I thought, what kind of phenomenon is this, right? How can we explain this from the classical science, let's say? So I thought that we have to build a multi-dimensional view, perspective, that could take account the different realities, different levels of reality, from the brain, mind, to the emergence of the organization of the interaction, because something emerged here now, not only the grammar, now the grammar of the interaction, the intergrouperal, etc. level, right? So that's why I try to build this view, because I think that to understand language, we need a complex theoretical view. And at the moment, I read Bateson, I read Mohan, and it was, Mohan said, well, now it's a time to ecologize the thinking, right? I mean, the context should be inside the subjects, everywhere. The context, the environment, let's say, should be inside all the human beings, all the agents. And then also another author that I will recommend if you don't know it is the sociologist Norbert Elias, now already dead, but I think he was a complexologist avant la lettre, Norbert Elias. I think, he was great. That man started his sociology class, the first day, with a section of the human brain. He showed it to the students. The first day of a sociological course. It was a complex vision, right? I mean, sociology of what? Of human beings, right? Is the main aspect of human beings, the brain. Well, I mean, so I think in the social sciences, we can find authors that already were and are complex, and they can show us how we can visualize this also kind of phenomena. I also want us to sit here Luis Vicente Aracil, who was professor of this university, and who was my professor of social linguistics. I think he also was a complex thinker, and he's, I think, a complex thinker, because his social linguistics was always an ecological social linguistics. I mean, without maybe telling the world explicitly, but he always had this big picture about the behavior, the ideology, the brain, the society. So I think we have this inheritance. That's why I follow this path. And now I wanted to say something about the sustainability of human beings. And back to the question that Jose Manuel posed before. No, what could the science do, right, in order to follow this, to reach this goal, right? Because this is our challenge too, no? Because we also have to take care of the sustainability of our species as a species, and maybe. No, not academic subject.
Preservation of something as academic subject is not fit,
Yes.
preservation for life.
For life, no, it's true. And I think that, well, of course, but yeah, we were complaining of how the big media, right, they control the agenda, let's say, right, and our human mind. I don't know what we can do. Maybe we have to react more actively, but well, I don't know. But still, I think we have to be careful about that, not to be like, what is this? They say in the media studies, like the catastrophes, and there is a kind of dichotomy they use. You know, the ones that say, oh, we are in a wonderful world, or we are in a very bad world, catastrophe world. Well, I think not maybe in the history of the humanity, we don't have to think that the past was always better. Right? So I mean, of course, there was Leibniz, and there was Condorcet, okay. But well, most of the people at that time were just people who were hungry, and they wanted to have sex and wanted to have everything, to enjoy life. Well, I think now we have another kind of life, another ecosystem with a lot of media, let's say, presence, but also we have everybody going to a compulsory educational system. Now we have a university with a lot of people, as like never before, right? So I think, well, we have to improve all these instruments that we've got, and we have to rethink, and also I don't think with that, we have to rethink the role of the educational system and the universities in this 21st century. This is a challenge too, right? I mean, what are we doing? Are we doing what we shall do in order to have this global perspective of humanity? I think we have to work on that.
Well, still thinking on ecology, and then Sally always questioned that notion. Could we come to an idea of ecology that there will be, well, ecology, there's always a process. Now thinking biology, and thinking also in what you mentioned here. Now, what do we want? Yesterday I said, for example, just something to analyze a situation with an ecological concept, and not in that way as Sally mentioned Mühlhäusler, for example. We mentioned Skudnap-Kangas and so on. We're thinking ecology is a good thing, and what's the bad? Because there are always ecologies that break down because there's a new species. For example, the rabbit in Australia. Europeans in Australia don't know. And there have been always ecologies breaking down, and but everywhere an ecology is, or nowhere an ecology is static. It is always in a process. And so, well, what I do not have an answer, but just a question: what do we want to come to in an ecology, as an ecology of humans, human relation? Or how did you call it? That ecology of human being, ecology of language. Well, anyway, ecology of language. Although we do not agree exactly, or ecology of whatever. What do you want to come to? in this.
Yeah, I'm not going to be long about this. It's true, ecology is not static, ecology is dynamic, but we don't want to confuse the term dynamic with the term process. Okay. The other thing is that we posit ecology relative to something that we want to explain. You don't construct an ecology in absolute terms and in abstraction of everything else. So it's probably the kind of thing that we don't have to worry about too much, because for any kind of entity that we want to discuss, ecology, there is an ecology that is relative to it. And so you can talk about the ecology of human populations, but there is, for instance, if you want to focus on me at this meeting, you are my ecology. And my past is my ecology. Okay, but if we want to focus on you, we are your ecology, but there is your past that is your ecology that most of us are not part of. So we want to keep that in perspective. So if we put it that way, then we probably should leave ecology the way it is, just realizing that it can include so many different things that are useful to explaining specific things that we are focusing on. Okay, so if you want to we are already relativizing ecology, but if you want to become so precise about everything, I think you reach the point where the concept that you want to use isn't useful anymore. That's my position.